Right now, everyone assumes that the recent near-death experience is the ultimate wake-up call for Jocelyn Jacks. Most viewers believe that after surviving the absolute nightmare of being held hostage at Windermere alongside Liesl Obrecht, taking a bullet during the chaotic takedown of Ross Cullum, and ending up in a hospital bed, Jocelyn is finally going to walk away from the danger. The obvious explanation seems to be that she will look at Carly Spencer, see the sheer, unadulterated panic and heartbreak in her mother's eyes, and agree to hang up her WSB badge permanently. We have all been watching the gut-wrenching scenes where Carly begs her daughter to leave the intelligence agency, pleading with her to return to a normal life, to go back to school, and to leave the deadly spy games to the professionals. Carly is deeply traumatized by the past loss of Morgan Corinthos, and the thought of losing another child to violence is actively destroying her. The general audience consensus is that Jocelyn will finally prioritize her family's peace of mind. People think Carly is going to get her wish, that the WSB nightmare is over, and that they can finally start healing as a family. Carly will believe that the dark, dangerous chapter of espionage is permanently closed. But what if we are looking at this the wrong way? What if that wasn't the real reason Jocelyn tells Carly she is out? Insider buzz is pointing to a completely different, much darker, and far more manipulative narrative. What if Jocelyn looks her mother right in the eye, promises her with absolute sincerity that she is done with the WSB, and completely lies through her teeth? If you ask me, there may be more going on here than a simple change of heart. The rumor is that Jocelyn will tell Carly exactly what she desperately wants to hear, that she is free, that she is focusing on her future, and that the spy life is entirely behind her. Carly will feel this immense, overwhelming wave of relief, believing her daughter has made the right choice to step away from the shadows. But behind closed doors, Jocelyn hasn't left the WSB at all. In fact, her status within the agency is about to skyrocket to unprecedented heights. What if the situation is being heavily manipulated by the very top of the organization? Z, the elusive and incredibly powerful head of the WSB, was highly impressed that Jocelyn managed to brutally take down Ross Cullum even while she was injured. He also knows she is ruthless and strategic enough to make a secret deal to pin Cullum's crimes on the deceased Cassius Faison just to secure the freedom of Jason Morgan and Valentine Cassadine. Z doesn't want to lose a brilliant, hardened asset like that. He wants to weaponize her. The alternative story suggests that Jocelyn isn't just staying in the WSB, she is getting a massive, off-the-books promotion. Instead of reporting to Jack Brennan, she will bypass him entirely and report directly to Z. She will become a top-tier operative with authority and clearance rivaling Brennan's own. And she is completely willing to bury this massive secret, protecting the agency's hidden agenda while smiling at her mother over morning coffee, pretending to be nothing more than a regular young woman. Now, how does this massive, toxic secret unravel? Because in Port Charles, the truth always comes out, and it usually brings a massive amount of collateral damage with it. I keep wondering whether Jack Brennan is the key to this entire impending explosion. We have to look at least 3 different ways this behind-the-scenes possibility could play out, and each one changes the landscape of the show entirely. Possibility 1 is that Brennan discovers Jocelyn's secret promotion and decides to use it to his absolute advantage. Brennan still firmly believes he controls Jocelyn as her superior. When he inevitably realizes that Z has elevated her behind his back and that she is taking high-level orders through a secret channel he cannot access, his massive ego will take a direct hit. In this scenario, Brennan uncovers the fact that Jocelyn is lying to Carly. Instead of exposing her immediately, he decides to blackmail the young operative. He could threaten to reveal her massive deception to Carly unless Jocelyn acts as his personal double agent against Z within the WSB. This would force Jocelyn into a terrifying, high-stakes game of multi-dimensional chess, lying to her mother to protect her feelings, lying to Z to protect her career, and being ruthlessly manipulated by Brennan to protect her secret. It turns Jocelyn from a confident, empowered agent into a trapped pawn in a bureaucratic war. But another theory is far more vindictive and emotionally destructive. What if someone planned this fallout purely out of spite? Brennan has certainly not forgotten that Carly Spencer chose to protect Valentine Cassadine over him. He knows Carly hid Valentine in her attic for months, and the sting of that romantic rejection is still incredibly fresh. In this scenario, Brennan views Jocelyn's secret promotion as a direct, unforgivable betrayal by both Z and Jocelyn. Instead of playing political spy games, Brennan decides to strike Carly where it hurts the absolute most, her heart and her trust. He casually, almost innocently, drops the devastating bomb on Carly. He tells her that her daughter is not only still deeply entrenched in the WSB, but she is now a high-ranking operative taking direct, dangerous orders from Z. Brennan wouldn't even need to get his hands dirty with violence. He just lights the match of truth and watches the Spencer family burn to the ground, savoring every moment of Carly's heartbreak from afar. And then there is a third scenario, one that shifts the ultimate blame entirely onto the mysterious Z. What if Z is intentionally setting Jocelyn up to fail? Z is a master manipulator who knows that Brennan is an unpredictable wild card and that Carly is an unstoppable force of nature when her children are involved. By secretly promoting Jocelyn and actively encouraging her to lie to her family, Z might be using the young woman as bait to flush Brennan out or to test Brennan's ultimate loyalty to the agency. Z might want to see if Brennan will turn on the WSB out of sheer jealousy over Jocelyn's rapid ascent. In this scenario, Jocelyn is nothing more than collateral damage in a massive, invisible power struggle between Z and Brennan. Her relationship with Carly is just a minor casualty in the eyes of the WSB's grand design, proving that in the world of espionage, no one is truly safe from being used. But guys, we have to talk about the most dangerous possibility of all. This is the boldest, most haunting theory that is currently sending shockwaves through the rumor mill, and it is the one you will not be able to stop thinking about long after this video ends. Let's say Brennan plants that toxic seed of doubt in Carly's mind. Carly, being the fiercely protective mother she is, won't just sit back and ask Jocelyn for the truth. She will investigate. She will follow her daughter into the shadows. Imagine the cinematic, heart-stopping scene. A dark, secluded location somewhere on the foggy docks of Port Charles. Carly trails Jocelyn and watches in sheer, unadulterated horror as her daughter meets secretly with Z. Carly witnesses the exchange of classified documents, the cold, professional demeanor, and the undeniable, devastating proof that her daughter is a top-tier spy living a dangerous double life. The betrayal Carly feels in that exact moment would be nothing short of apocalyptic. She wouldn't be able to hold back her maternal rage. Carly would storm out of the shadows, screaming, confronting Z directly, and blaming him for dragging her daughter back into the deadly line of fire. But Z is not someone you scream at without facing severe consequences. A physical altercation breaks out. Z's security detail pulls their weapons. It is pure, unadulterated chaos. And in the middle of this screaming, violent match, Jocelyn desperately tries to intervene. She throws herself into the middle to protect her mother from Z's ruthless guards, or perhaps to protect Z from Carly's uncontrollable wrath. And then a gunshot rings out in the dark. Jocelyn is caught in the crossfire. She goes down, gravely injured once again, bleeding out on the pavement, all because of a web of lies. And the most chilling, haunting part of this entire scenario, Jack Brennan is standing quietly in the shadows just a few yards away, watching the entire tragedy unfold. He orchestrated the confrontation, he leaked the intel to Carly, and now he gets to smile a cold, satisfied smile as Carly's world shatters completely, having achieved his ultimate revenge without ever having to pull a trigger himself. I keep wondering whether we are truly prepared for this level of emotional devastation. Will Jocelyn actually pay the ultimate physical price for her massive deception? Will Carly's uncontrollable, protective rage blind her to the extreme danger she is putting her own daughter in? And is Jack Brennan truly capable of being that cold, that sociopathic, and that calculating just to settle a petty romantic score? We don't have all the answers yet, and that is what makes this so incredibly thrilling. Unconfirmed information is still swirling around the studios, and the writers could easily pivot at any given moment. But something about this feels distinctly hidden, like a massive destructive storm gathering just off the coast of Port Charles, waiting for the perfect moment to make landfall. This behind-the-scenes possibility could be absolutely true. It could also be a deliberate, clever misdirection planted to keep us guessing. But one thing is absolutely, undeniably certain. There is a huge missing piece of this WSB puzzle that hasn't been revealed yet on our screens. The dynamic between Carly, Jocelyn, Brennan, and Z is a powder keg, and the fuse has already been lit. Keep your eyes peeled and your theories ready, guys, because if this insider rumor holds even a fraction of weight, the real devastating fallout from the Windermere crisis hasn't even begun to show its true face.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.